Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am here with my January flip through. So this is my Frankenplanner. I have used this for the month of January. I've already moved into my February planner, and so what I'm flipping through here are just the January pages. So this planner is not 100% complete, but I just wanted to go ahead and flip through it. It is missing just a couple of photos, but this is just a flip through of all of the spreads that I did for the month of January. I do use several planners and several, I guess, like notebook sections or like sections, and so I'll flip through all of the pages. There are some pages that have already, I've already gone through and kind of like covered up some stuff that is a little bit more personal. And so we should be able to kind of look through all of it, minus like all the stuff that I taped over. So this is the cover that I used for most of January. I did initially start off with the snap-on cover, but it got too bulky with that cover on here. And so what I did instead was use this, what is this cover? It's just an old cover that I had. There's a little piece of sticky note. Anyway, I had this cover and I flipped it inside out just to use the like kind of polka dots here, which I thought looked good. And then I put some, like, these are poster board numbers on here to get 2022. And because this is just paper, I put a clear cover over that. And then these discs are the metal expander black discs that I got from Joann a while back. And so yeah, that's the setup for the front. I do have this inbox here. This is where the sticky note should go. And so this is my inbox, which I didn't use at all in January. I may or may not keep this for February. I have my hello name page, which I think looks great. And then my goals. I never recorded a video for my goals, and so I wanted to go ahead and run through this really quickly. I have 5 different areas. Spiritual. So this is daily prayer, complete New Testament, gratitude log, weekly services, and then tithing. And then for health, I have keto, morning time at 7 o'clock, positive psychology focus for mental health. And then for social, I have daily connection with my husband, mindful parenting, and then kin keeping with extended family. Personal is piano lessons, monthly spa days, lettering and crafting. And then for home, the only goal I have here is daily decluttering. And I put a quote here that says, love people, use things. The opposite never works. And I thought that was really nice. And so I really like that. And I did not, as of yet, do anything with the vision board pages that I included in here. So they're, for right now, just in here. And then I have a timeline for a wedding. Like, this is from the wedding planner, but I did not use this at all. So again, like, this will be probably one that I just decided to pull out. My niece is getting married in April, and I thought I would just put this in here just to kind of keep track of some things that are related to wedding planning. What are some of the things that she needs to think about? I'm not helping her with wedding planning. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of track some of that for her to have like talking points with her, really. But I didn't use it in January, and you know, I don't know that I will. So I may remove that section. And then the next section with a January divider is my future log. So what I use is the perpetual calendar from one of the planners, the Sophisticated Florals planner, and I just write down all the events that I have moving into like 2022. I actually also have 2023 and 2024, but it's not in here yet, and I didn't actually need to pull it out and use it, so I just left it for right now. And then I did use the back of this initially to, you know, I was planning just to include this into Sophia's memory book because I was using the vertical layout, but you'll see that I decided to change that up for January. And so I wrote this, but you'll see this repeated, like basically copied over it onto a different sheet later. And then I have my home section, which is like one of my like notebook non-planner sections. And so what I started doing was kind of updating this section with a list of things that I wanted to be able to kind of track for my home, like including things like any kind of contact information for all of the different utilities and services that we have, like just having like an emergency contact number for like the power and the water, just in case like we had a leak or some emergency come up, we could call and just contact right away instead of having to look it up. And then I also I did actually create a service log. For right now, you'll see this in a minute, it's just a list of like date, description, vendor. I didn't actually track any of my services. I just decided just to start it with January. And then I have a plan to create a sheet with like any house renovations that we want to complete, and just like having project pages for house renovations. And then I do have like a warranty and insurance and inventory kind of like collection, the model number, like when we purchased purchased the item, that kind of thing. So like some of the major appliances in our house, I do have that inventory just in case, like if we have a fire or a flood or some disaster come about, we could file for insurance. And then property and land information, this is basically the property tax forms that we receive every year. And then insurance information for the house, basically. And then I have a honeydew list just about projects around the house, like small projects around the house that we want to kind of complete. And then again, like I mentioned, inventory. I also have an electronics inventory. I got this idea from a blog, and I don't remember exactly who now, but the idea of like making sure that we know the model number of phones and have like the code for the specific phone and any kind of like tracking information, so that way if like the phone gets lost, we can kind of keep track of those things. I thought that was a great idea. And then a sheet for online subscriptions. I do have a projects list by room and then a decluttering list by room, which I'll show you. So of this list, these are all the things that I do want to do. I did sit down and think about in January some of the things that I wanted to do. I was only able to complete like at the very beginning of the month, like on the 1st and the 6th, I started some of these projects and like listing out some of these things. So the rest of it is just like older sheets that I just have had in here for a while. And so I did clean up this section. This is the insurance information that I described earlier. Again, it's like not filled out at all. I do want to at some point go back in and fill that out with like our home insurance information. And then I have warranties. This is where I'm going to be writing out all the different like warranties that we do have that are active, and I'll just go through and like cross out when they become inactive. And then here is the decluttering by room sheet that I have. I did want to in January kind of update this, but I didn't. And then here's the projects. Again, wanted to update it, but I did not do that. And I did use like old horizontal pages for those. Here's a list of honeydew projects. And again, this is not actually the data. I just transferred it from some old like to-do lists that I had and just kind of put it in one spot. So that is all here. And then here's just inventory. Now this is different from warranties because here, like this stuff will live on here pretty much until we sell it. And so I'll have active warranties and then like all the inventory of like major appliances basically. And just like maybe like more expensive items in the house. One of the things that I've read through is like putting your jewelry, like a catalog of your jewelry. If you own like fine jewelry and like have more expensive pieces in your house, those are the types of things that you can kind of list out here. I don't personally have any expensive jewelry, so I don't have that, but this will be mostly for just like major appliances for us. But again, I didn't fill it out. And then I also have a service log. This is one of the ones that I created. And so I decided instead of like trying to go back and like write out all of our services and have this service log, I'm just going to start in 2022 to list these things out. And so that's what I did here. And these are some of the like different files. This actually should be in like the inventory. Well, not really inventory. This printer is with the inventory. It's one of the like, you know, it's our printer. But we also have an online subscription for HP ink. And so I have that information in here. And so that this goes in inventory. This goes in the online subscriptions, which I haven't created yet. You can see that. And so that's home. I spent a lot of time explaining that because, you know, I feel like a lot of people are interested in kind of developing their own home binder. And so those are some of the sections that I have. Again, I did not do as much work in that section as I wanted to, so I may decide to repeat this section in a later month just so I can update it. I do want to focus on my home, and so this is one of the major areas of like just kind of tracking my life that I want to be able to focus on. Okay, the rest of it I'll just kind of flip through and have a little bit less commentary, I think. This next section is my chore section. This is the daily decluttering challenge, Declutter 365 that I underlined when I completed it. Obviously I didn't do all of them. And then here is where I track or just kind of journal about different cleaning projects, decluttering. Right here I list any meals that I personally cook. We eat out quite a bit, and my husband cooks a lot. And so I hardly ever, like rarely, cook. And so that's where I list that. And then of course it's just notes, and here's my little daily habits for my home. And that's the same setup pretty much for the entire month. My daughter Sophia decided that we were going to kind of decorate with some stickers that she had. It looks so gross. Pretty simple spread here. I didn't like list anything. This is the week that we were in isolation, so we pretty much stayed at home. And then this is super cute. My daughter wanted to decorate this. She did all that. And then the second half of the week we were on vacation. So, all right, that's home. These are all of my sticky notes. I did decide to move all of the monthly and the weekly tasks on here and just have this here in January. I am planning to move this to February once I'm done with this flip through. And so then here we have Sophia's question and answer journal. What we do is kind of do it by year. So this is 2022, 2021, 2020. So we started it midway through 2020. And then I have these journaling prompts that I just print, like I got it from the internet. I typed it up and just kind of like printed it out and glued it down here. And every year, the goal is every year to ask her the same question on January 2nd and just kind of list it through. I didn't do it for the first 2 years, you can see here. And so we did try. Some of it I did do and some I didn't. It's kind of funny that like in terms of pattern, I just don't ask her the same set of questions pretty much every year. And one of my goals is to go through and kind of decorate with stickers, but I have not done that yet. And so it's pretty much just me writing down what she says every year. And then towards the end of the month, we had COVID and we were sick, so I didn't ask her any of these questions, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what it kind of looked like. And then we got better on the 31st this week. And so she said her little deal. All right, the next section is Sophia's memory book. This is one of the sections where I don't have the pictures here. What I like to do is just kind of print out like a photo a day and kind of put this here. And I haven't like decorated it or updated it or put the pictures in here, but photos will end up here at some point. And then I did use a teacher layout for her and just categorized it, tracked stuff for her, but also things for her family, and then like any major like news events or just, you know, just random notes that we had. And then in between, if I had like extra like paperwork, I would just glue it in here. Like here, we had Sophia's birthday party on the 3rd, and then an event for my second cousin. And then this is what the next week looks like. I think this looked really cute. And nothing was pasted in between, so it just goes straight into the next week. I did try to add photos, and I want to go back and add even more photos. So again, like photos are missing from here, but this will be blurred out. But these are just notes from school that we had, like her newsletter from school, and then a note about going virtual next week, this week, the 17th through the 23rd. So she was virtual for school. And then this week we actually tested positive for COVID right there. And because she is so young, she was out for that week. We were virtual anyway, but then she was out for this week. And so she went to her grandmother's just because I just could not stay at home for 2 weeks from work. And so she did go with her mom, her grandmother, my mom, and then we decided at the very last minute to take a trip to Disney just because we'd been in the house for like a week and a half. And I did work this week, but it was just kind of like trying to recover from COVID. And since she was home that last week, her teacher sent home some activities for her to do. And so again, I just pasted that in here. And then here's the repeated page from the Sophisticated Florals that I mentioned earlier. I just repeated it and put that here. And these are the shows that she watched in January. These are some of the games that she played in January, and that's pretty much what I kept it to. I'm still trying to figure that one out. And then for work, I used the monthly, which is an outdated monthly that I just kind of redated, and I use it just to track my hours for work. I don't need to. I'm a salaried employee, but you know, I like to try that. And then I used the line vertical, so it's pretty much functional. I did add stickers, but it's pretty functional. And that's what January looked like. Again, like towards the end here, it's the end of the month, so I was kind of wrapping up. Wasn't too worried about like updating it. And then I'm going to show you this just because there's no student names on here. But then I have a section and it's just kind of like all of these notes right here that are just full of like daily notes that I take to myself, for myself. Like they're notes for meetings, to-do lists, things like that. Some of the time I feel like on the weekly pages, I don't have enough room for like long to-do lists. And so sometimes I'll just pull out like a note page and just write notes. And so all of that's back here, and I won't be able to flip through all of that just because there are student names on there. And so here I'm covering this just because there is a student name here. But again, like just notes, I do print out notes from like class prep and have this here so I can like talk to the students about it and like take more notes, things like that. This section is my personal planner. The monthly I did set up, looks like this, right? I did get our pass holder, like the magnet, in the mail, so I stuck that in here. And then this is just my personal planner where I keep like major events across the entire family, directly related to our family of 3 though. And then to-do lists, you know, just a planner. I love this. I love this idea of doing a sidebar here. That was super cute. All right, my Moana spread. And then this last week, I again was sick with COVID. Actually, I was tested positive the week before, but I felt like I was sick for 2 weeks. And so Sophia decorated this for me. It's definitely not my favorite, but you know, it is what it is. And then I do use daily pages sometimes, or just like notes, again, very similar to my work setup. And so there are some daily pages here that we had. And again, like, I also include notes. And so we started watching Elaine of Avalor. This is a terrible printout, but like this was a printout. Sophia didn't like this picture, so I ended up just writing on the back of it. And then here's the second half of this Sophia the First Elena of Avalor page, which I'll pull out and put into our home binder when that's done. And then I did again mention like we were in Disney for a little bit, and so I used for that trip Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just like a random planner, like daily planner that I have in my purse, and just took notes on here, and that's pretty much it for that. It's like even in pencil, just because it's just in pencil. That's what I did. So those were the 4 days here, and I just again just took notes randomly. And then when we came back from vacation that Monday the 31st, because it was the 31st, I didn't want to like just have the 31st floating randomly in February, so I decided just to continue on Monday, even though we were back by then. And then here is my music for choir, just a list of all the music that I've gotten back in. And then January, I did not do really well with like doing a gratitude log, so that's very empty. And then this section, I did cover up any prayer requests, but I did want to flip through it. I used this just to take notes on my Bible study and list prayer requests, like lots of prayer requests this month, I feel like. And it's just me taking notes with what's going on in my life and what I'm reading through. I am trying to do a New Testament study for 2022. So like right here, again, towards the end of the month, because I was sick, I just read through, but I didn't take notes. So that's that. I did decorate a couple more pages, but I did not use them for January. So that's that. This section is my creativity section. So I painted this, and then I was working on like completing this picture right here for a few days, but I gave that up pretty quickly. Colored this page. Actually, I didn't color that page. Sophia colored that page. I colored this page. That should be taped together probably. And then towards kind of the middle of the month, I got really into nonograms, pick cross puzzles. And so I started doing a couple of them. This one I didn't finish, but this is what it kind of looks like. Finished. Well, kind of finished. I couldn't tell what it was, so I just gave up on it. It didn't look like much of anything to me, but I still loved the idea of doing it. Again, this should be taped together probably. And so I picked out a couple of other photos. This one is super cute. It's supposed to be sideways like this, right? Super cute, right? And so I did several of them in the month of January. This is so simple, right? But it looks so cute, right? And then I started working on this one, but then I was sick, and so I just gave up on that. I did try some others, but again, I was sick. I wasn't feeling great, so it just was kind of mentally taxing to do it. So I just started it, and that was pretty much it. And then I did finish this one just because it was a simpler one, and that was pretty much it. I haven't started any new ones since then. Again, like end of the month, I just pretty much was at bare minimum, but I do plan to come back and try to do some of those things again. So this is my wellness section. Here I just track like major like beauty, self-care type stuff. And then I did try to use these pages, the self-care activity checklist, and I did write some of it, but then the rest of this I didn't even write on. So I'll probably pull it out and try to reuse it again. One of the things I did do in here in this wellness section is I love playing crossword puzzles. And I found one that's like very pun oriented, like punny. And so I liked writing out like the major like prompts for that particular series. And I did several of them. And then I decided that the wellness journal is where I'm going to be kind of housing my positive psychology series. And so this is the initial test, the 24, and where my results are in terms of falling 1 to 24 for those. And so I'm super excited about starting that. I did create like this routine sheet for Sophia, and that should probably go in Sophia's planner actually. But I like having this, and I will probably try to do one every month, just because like every month is a little bit different in terms of our before school routine, after school routine, and evening routine. And a lot of this is related to Sophia, but some of it's like just some major routine things for me. And so I just want to be able to get into the habit of filling that out. Then the food log. I do use the monthly to track like sleep, weight, and my steps. Really bad about steps, really bad about logging the numbers. There were entire periods where I didn't track my steps or my weight or anything, but you know, that's how it goes. And then for these weekly pages, I just log food. And so it's just in chronological order down the list, kind of where I can find space. And that's pretty much it for my food log. Some of these stickers were so big that I ran out of room to write. Sophia decorated this week for me. I actually think it's the cutest of all of them. And then I just included the rest of the pages from the Wellness Extension Pack that I was using, even though I didn't use it. Again, I'll probably pull that out and, you know, try to reuse it at some point. Here's my social media. This is where I post in all of my Instagram pictures. Again, haven't printed it out yet, but that's where this goes. I need to lift this up just a little bit, I think. And then just my social media. And what I do is split it up to where this should be taped down, actually. All right, so it should be flow right into it. This is where I'm going to be putting the 2022, the stickers from the cover here. And then I was really irritated at the beginning of the year because like I've had so many issues with technology and YouTube. So had a journal about that. But what I do is just like it says here, YouTube, Plan With Me Challenge, Instagram, and Facebook. I try to use 4 sections. And then the rest, I just kind of take notes for different various things, or not. I just decorate it. Sometimes I write and sometimes I decorate. Just depends, right? Again, I love this long sidebar. I just need longer to-do lists. And then here, because I had decorated it like this, I actually think I did a great job decorating while sick. But then here, because it was decorated like that, I just decorated here in this section and just dated it. And that's pretty much it. Last section is my budget section. Here are my numbers in terms of bills, mortgage, cell phone, our security, which is all the bills. And these are all the automatic draft bills, the things that just pull straight from our account. And then I do try to use this just like it's intended, categorize things. These are all the different budget areas that I have. I do have a video kind of discussing these numbers, and I did make updates in the month of January, but the initial setup still is valid. You know, it's just I just updated some of the amounts. And then here I was trying to go through in 2021. In the previous budget video, I was talking about doing like a full 2021 review. I did do a review, but then when I tried to transfer it over here, it just got really messy. And so I ended up not posting that video just because it looked kind of messy, and I feel like my trying to explain it was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. So I just left it for my own reference instead of trying to record the video for it. And then the rest of these pages are just me tracking all of my purchases. It's just all of the expenses, and I just list them. Some days I forget some, and so I'll go back in and check my statements and see stuff that's missing. And then I was only using like 3 of the sheets, so I still have several sheets that I have not used here. And that's it. All right, again, that's my flip through. I feel like these videos are always like so long because I can't stop commenting. I always say I'm going to do less commentary, and I never do that, so I should just give up saying that. But I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I do have multiple sections in here, but I do try to use all sections. And even when I'm sick or like just really busy, I do at least try to touch this planner every day. It might not be every single section, as you saw, but I definitely try to stay in some sort of planning, even when I'm feeling under the weather. I feel like I tend to forget things when I'm under the weather. And so it was really helpful for me to have this, especially when I was sick with COVID, which was like the second half of the month. And so I hope you enjoyed the flip through. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.